There once was a hero from Colorado. He was small, not really that tough. Honestly, only been in a couple fights his whole life. He wasn't really much of a hero. He's kind of a dick, actually. Fuck that guy. But anyways...
Yes, this isn't his story.
Yeah,
this is the story of Fable.
Fable. We're talking about Fable, the Anniversary Edition. You are listening to the Blood Scream Podcast! I am Brandon. I got Nick with me. Yes, who is screaming. Hello, Nick.
Hello.
So, this is probably, let me just, some background for this game. This is probably one of my first, and I have to put this in quotations, because it barely counts as an RPG, but this is probably one of my first RPGs I ever got my hands on.
As I said in the Bloody Times, this is like a dumbed down Skyrim. It's the children's adult version of Skyrim.
It's a children's, a Fable, all the three games. The Fables have always been kind of maybe I wouldn't say for kids, because, some of the content in this is kind of a little bit, high. But, maybe for preteens, teenagers, who've never really gotten into a deep RPG. I wouldn't recommend, hey, you never played an RPG before? Oh, yeah, here's some...
The Witcher.
Yeah, here's The Witcher, perfect example. Where it has all this crafting and all this shit. No, this is the most dumbed-down RPG you can get, where it has the most simplistic level-up system, just strength, speed, or magic. It's not that complicated. But before we jump into how the game plays, let's go with the story. Woo! So, Nick, let me just, for the people out there, I'm going to give the most brief story I can ever do. I can do it in one word. Revenge. That's the whole story.
Yeah.
The entire story is a revenge story. The only reason why you decide to be a hero in the first place is because you want revenge.
That, and, the Heroes Guild kind of caught you when you were vulnerable, took advantage of that.
Yeah, they did.
I'm not saying they raped you or anything, but,
we don't know. I mean, Maze just grabs a little boy, doesn't even, someone pointed out something really hilarious. In the first, 10, 15 minutes of this game, folks, you're a little kid, your entire village is, raised up by bandits, your family is murdered in front of you, or maybe not in front of you, but they're murdered. And you're just oh my god, you're crying over your dead dad's corpse, and all of a sudden this bandit gets killed by this guy named Maze, who's he's a wizard.
A very bad wizard.
Yeah, he's terrible. But he takes you to the guild, and then he just starts, saying, quit your crying, why are you puking, and all this. And someone made a very good point, he's puking because he probably has never seen death before, and it's right there, his dad's corpse is right there. It's probably a lot for him to handle.
Especially when, I think it says you're 6.
Oh, God. And then literally what you do when you get to the Heroes Guild, they don't say, oh yeah, take a couple weeks off to mourn your family. No, it's just hey, get up the next morning and learn to fight.
Use that hatred.
I know. I was are you sure this is the Heroes Guild? Did you guys misname this? Is this a rental property? Because you guys are assholes. But as a kid, though, I have to say, Nick, I didn't notice it, but then I realized you are a creepy looking fucking child.
Maybe the enhanced graphics.
Well, if you look at the original copy, you probably don't. I played the shit out of the original game. The original game, you don't look that bad. Maybe the graphics and textures were just so muddied that you couldn't tell that he looked kind of weird.
Oh, but, trust me, I know.
Oh yeah. And so this one with the revamped version, he has an adult-sized head on a child-sized body, and it just looks so fucking strange.
And adult-sized feet.
Oh yes, and adult-sized feet, which that was actually in the original. I do remember the feet being, I was oh, I'm a hobbit! I'm just a hobbit, I'm not a child, I'm a hobbit, this makes so much sense! But yeah. But anyways, later on down the road, the entire game is you trying to, you're finding out about your family, you find out the main villain who is Jacob Blaze. I'm not even gonna call spoiler, because if you don't know that, the moment he walks on the fucking screen, you are an idiot.
Yeah, especially in this one.
Oh,
when he sounds like an evil demon.
I hate the demon one. See, like I said, the original, I'm gonna do a lot of compare and contrast people with the original. The original, he sounded like a really sophisticated, evil British man. He's oh, hello.
I think a Christopher Lee would have been a good voice for him.
He would have been excellent. Instead, they decided to make this fucking demon-ass voice, which, when you get to the end of the game, it makes kind of sense why sounds like a demon, but it's just like, well, you guys could have just said magic, and that's why he sounds different now. You didn't have to well, he sounds weird. Oh. Yeah, but otherwise, it's a really generic story if you really just get down to it. There's nothing really, there's no big twists in it, there's no plot turns, there's nothing
Well,
really.
there is one. Well, I guess there are some, but they're not like, oh my god, who could have seen that coming? They're just oh, that happened.
Yeah, I agree. They do have plot turns, but it's just kind of like, oh, alright. It's not like, oh, fuck, no way! It's not like a Black Ops plot turn where you're like, oh, I'm an idiot, I didn't see that? Oh, no, it's just like, oh, alright, that's cool. Plus, your dude's a silent protagonist, and oh god, that drives me nuts, Nick. They're all talking to me, and they're like, so what do you think of Oakville? Okay.
Just, flip them off. Ah, yes, I agree. I do concur, good sir.
I do concur, sir. Alright, yeah, I do have to say though, with the new look of this anniversary edition, it's not your typical HD up-res job, where, they just kind of up the textures, up the thing. They went in and
revamped it all.
Oh yeah, I read the Wikipedia and they're saying it took them 15 months to do all the textures. I mean, they didn't do shit for gameplay-wise. Like, the game plays exactly the same. And I guess you can change the controls. I changed them how Fable 1 controls because it just feels better.
The game wouldn't let me do that?
Oh yeah, that was weird. I don't know why, because you had the download version, I had the disc version. I don't know why
the game wouldn't let me use magic. Alright, fuck you guys.
Oh, so so you did have the original controls, but just wouldn't let you use the magic?
Right. Which, again, when I'm completely surrounded, that inflame spell really helps. And it helps a lot with golems, too.
Oh, yeah.
Or trolls, I mean.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. Well, they do have golems in it, too, so I'm just like, alright. Whatever. So, I have to say the enemies, they're pretty, some of them are pretty generic, like you got the bandits, you got beetles, you got bees. But then they have...
everything an RPG needs.
Yeah, you got the weak enemies that are pointless, but then you get some interesting enemies. I understand these things have been out since the original, but they're the only ones that really came up with it, to my knowledge. I mean, the trolls, they're a pretty original idea. They're actually element trolls. This troll is a giant ice troll, or this is a giant ground troll, or this is a rock troll. Those are the three types of trolls. And then you got the Jack of Blades minions, who I don't even know what the fuck you call those.
Some sort of weird Egyptian god-looking bird things.
And then the Hobbs. I mean, they don't.
And the summoners.
Oh, and summoners, yes, and the wraiths, which actually I have to say they kind of look similar to ring wraiths. But besides that, it's not. They have more original character design, I would say, than storyline. And it does look a lot like a WoW game, especially with this one. It's very cartoonish, very, nothing, it's not really, that's why they're able to have it on this system, because it's not realistic looking at all. But after the graphics, I gotta say, I did have a blast though, me personally, with, just with seeing the old faces and see what they did to them.
I did, I mean, obviously, I know it's because it's an old game still, but it still had its issues.
Oh, no, okay. I was trying to get with the good things, Nick, before you get into the bad thing. Alright,
we gotta end on the good notes.
Okay, we'll go into the bad ones. Okay, let me ask you, did this game ever freeze up on you?
It froze up on me once.
Uh-huh.
But I think that was more on my console, because even the power button didn't work.
Oh, mine froze up on me 3 times, and it was not my console, because that's how I had to do it. I had to turn off the console, turn it back on. 3 fucking times, Nick, I was doing one bandit mission where I had to kill a bunch of bandits, all of a sudden just, and the music's still playing, but my character's not moving. And, nothing.
Okay, it did happen to me once where it was supposed to be a loading screen, and it did that to me. Right at the end when I'm supposed to be going up into the northern wastes.
Oh yeah. And then this game in the beginning, it got better towards the end. It was really weird. In the beginning, it kind of had a shitty frame rate for a little bit. Like, it was...
See, mine was fine.
Oh yeah, mine had kind of... It was only in the beginning. Like, once I got past, once I got, a fourth into the game, they were just, the frame rate's better and it, plays like a normal game.
Now, for me, I did have a lot of audio issues.
Oh god, there's so much... Now, that's something they never fixed. They never fixed from the original game. There's actually one scene when you're going to the arena, Nick, and I remember it because it still happens. It was the funniest damn thing. you're walking with the guard going into the arena, and he's talking. If you watch his mouth, it's just like flapping around. It's not doing like even matching even closely that he's speaking words. He's just It was so weird. It's like if you're playing with a nutcracker and just moving the mouth up and down. It was the strange, and it was still there, and I just laugh. I'm just like, okay, I remember this. And yes, it had tons of audio issues. Oh my god. I actually had a couple times, Nick, where people were talking over each other. Where I'm just like, hey, whoa, one at a time!
Yeah, or, in the DLC, in the Lost Chapters part, when you unlock the Oracle, the sound of the stones grinding against each other never went away.
Oh, I never had that happen.
Like, when I left, it stopped, but the whole time, the whole cutscene, everyone's talking, all I can really hear is
oh yeah, it really has some weird audio problems. Like texture problems, like it doesn't, like I said, besides the frame rate, doesn't have too much. It does have that Unreal problem because it's using the Unreal Engine where the textures don't pop up sometimes right away. So you're just kind of like, oh, gooey.
After like 10 years, I'm used to that.
Oh god, yeah. Like, we all played Gears of War. We've all played every game with Unreal Engine. You get used to it. I'm actually rather surprised they went with the Unreal one instead of using whatever the hell they were using back in Fable 1 or 2 and 3 days.
Yeah, and I did have, I noticed a lot with his, glowing tattoo things. They like to peel off of his face and just kind of float around.
Wait, what? I never saw that. I have magic tattoo face!
Yeah, especially like at the end. He was talking to me, and one of the lines that went down his neck just kind of like zipped off his neck and hung off to the side, so he just had a tattoo like arrow pointing to the right.
Okay. Alright, I did not see that one, because that one would have been funny as hell to see. I do have to also say, though, something that I did not see in the original game, but like I said, the textures were pretty shitty and the graphics weren't as great, so maybe it was happening. But this one, you grade quick. Like, holy shit, you were like 40 years old.
My hair didn't grade till the end. It turned blonde.
See, yeah, mine was literally gray. It was white. It wasn't even like normal gray, it was white. My hair turned white. I don't know what the hell I did to like make my guy age so quickly, but damn.
Well, stress does cause grays.
But they also got rid of the one thing that pissed me off, Nick, from, in the original game, if you got hit a lot, you'd start seeing a bunch of scars. So by the end of the game, you'd be all sorts of fucked up. This one, I never got scarred.
I didn't either, and also, after fully maxing out my physique, I was not that abnormally large.
Yeah, they toned that down too, because really your arms were supposed to like stick out. Like, did you ever have the Berserker power?
I have it, not used it.
Okay, if you use it, your arms kind of stick out and you're kind of brrr. That's kind of what you started looking like when you maxed out. I mean, it wasn't as to the extreme, but you weren't just like this one where you're just kind of a bigger guy. That's all you are. You're not extreme. I don't know. Maybe it was, I never really leveled up speed. Maybe that was why I was always kind of short and I don't know. It was something strange. But, any other problems you have with the game?
Well, there was, kind of relating back to the audio, right back at the end, there was, I think I was talking to the guildmaster, and he was walking along talking to me. The cutscenes were going too fast for him to talk or something, so he never finished his sentence before it moved on to the next one. And that was, I don't know what the fuck was going on there, but.
I do also have to say, just like, with, the voice acting's shitty, let's be honest. They have some pretty stupid fucking lines, especially Whisper, your childhood friend.
Oh, but leave her out of this.
Oh god,
she doesn't deserve to be in this review.
She has the worst fucking lines. I'm just like, holy crap, can you just shut the fuck up? And every character's very one-dimensional. You don't have any. This is before I want to. I understand some people are going to say this, so I just want to say it before anyone says it. This is before storytelling in games were really good. You know, before every game had to have like an actual writer to it. This is something that you and I could have made up probably something better than this. You know, dialogue and everything. So this is a really dumbed down story. And I also
I will say the side dialogue from random citizens does get annoying, especially if you play a bar game for a while trying to make a bunch of money. Because I found the easy bar game.
Oh yeah. I found the citizens just get annoying because, okay, say if you're good, they follow you around like locusts. They're just like, yay, get the fuck out of my way! If you're evil, all you ever hear is, boo, boo! It's just, they don't...
And that's why you slaughter them.
Well, in some towns where they take away your weapons, it's really...
You mean one town?
Yeah, well, two.
Even if you become mayor of that town, you can't decree that you can now carry weapons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Becoming mayor of that town means you get to live, you get to walk into the manor.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, I'm trying to remember the game, not hard. Just for people, like we were saying, how with it being dumbed down, they don't have a difficulty setting at all. It's just easy. The game, I can't even say it would have any form of a learning curve because, like, you picked it up and you learned how to play it pretty quick, so there's no curve.
I got my ass handed to me by that troll in the beginning, but, once you learn a few tricks, that game becomes your bitch.
Oh yeah, because every boss is just a pattern boss, and then, every enemy essentially is a pattern.
And by pattern, it's just swing your sword, maybe shoot an arrow too if they get out of your range.
Well, like a Kraken, you have to shoot the arrows at it. That's more of a... and then with say Twin Blade, you have to wait for him to be an idiot each time. Yeah, it was that type of stupid ass pattern boss where you're just like, okay, seriously? Alright, I kinda like my smarter bosses where they don't make stupid fucking mistakes like this. I'm gonna do this move now. Oh crap. Uh-oh.
Well, there was Nostros who, you had to, kill all his minions before you could even damage him. Same thing with the first Jack of Blades.
The first Jack of Blades, okay, the first time you fight Jack of Blades, that's the only thing you have, he is probably, him and the Jack of Blades is probably the only boss, just in general, both versions of him, that even has any remote challenge to him, in my opinion.
See, first Jack of Blades I had no trouble with because I had a bow.
Oh yeah, no. That's also another thing, people. A little tip from Brandon: if you just save your money for equipment, that's all you need it for. Don't spend your money on stupid shit. You really don't need to buy health potions or anything. You find so many of those, you don't need to waste your money on them. You just need to waste your money on armor and weapons. And then the later half of the game, when you do the little extra point, you just have a bunch of, they just give you a weapon. You don't need anything else. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I don't know, what else can we add for this?
It is interesting.
Would you say it's worth the $30 of what?
I would. If you've ever played a Fable game and if you just want a casual fantasy RPG.
Oh yeah.
It's a fun way to waste a couple tens of minutes, hours.
And you know what? The best part of this game, this really isn't. I hate calling this a sandbox game because it's really just a hallways that you're going down. But I think messing around, like in most Fable games, is probably the most fun you can have.
As I'm sure they saw from our second episode.
Oh yes, when you just slaughter. Honestly, this is when I'm going to start introducing random questions to talk about with the game in our reviews. And this question would be: how do you say people should play this game? I really say they should play as an evil fucker because you play good, it's kind of boring. It's kind of just like blah 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 blah. You play evil, oh, it's so much more fun.
See, the way I always play Fable games, and this was true for all three of them, I go through the first time, do all the goody-goodiness, mm-hmm. and then usually for a while after that, I go pure evil. Mm-hmm. And then in the second one, it's gotten to the point where I start the game goody-goody, and then as soon as I hit that halfway point where you work as a prison guard, uh-huh. Yeah, I'm not doing spoiler alerts. That game's old as shit, and we're not talking about it.
Yeah.
When you become the prison guard, I figured that 10-year experience just turned me into that corrupted my moral system, and then from then on out, I'm just evil.
Well, in that part where you're doing the guard shit, I do evil just because I don't want to lose experience. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. And like I said, after 10 years of acting evil, it's hard to get rid of that.
I know, honestly.
From then on out, my character is just evil.
Nick,
he slaughters his family, he rapes villages, he eats people, he cuts their skin off and wears it in clothing, and if he's in a good mood, he does it in that order.
Oh, I agree. That's what I do with most games, including Fable. Like, when I first played Fable, I was goody-goody. Second time I played Fable, I was just an evil, sadistic motherfucker, and I have to say, it is much more fun to play that way. It's also fun.
And you look cooler.
And you do look cooler. Also, people, look into the achievements, because this game actually has some interesting achievements just for dicking around. Like,
There a lot of them are references to other nerdy things.
Oh, yes. And then, of course, you can literally, this is probably one of the, you know what this was, Nick, though? Just fun fact for everybody. This is probably one of the first very liberal games out there, because if you want to be gay and marry a dude, by all means, brother, you can marry a dude. You can have sex with men, you can have sex with women, you can have sex with both. Does not matter to you. You can cross-dress, you can wear wigs, you can make yourself be a dude with a beard trying to make himself into a pretty lady. Like I said, it's a very open-minded game. So, for all of you people out there, Lionhead Studios was the first one to let you do that, to my knowledge.
Probably.
I mean, I don't know every video game ever made, so it's the first one I can think of to do it, because this game came out like 2003, so, But anyways, enough of this jibba-jabba. Closing statements, Nick, and rating.
I would say this game is definitely worth a buy if you like just RPGs. If you've ever like me and you liked Fable 2, didn't hate Fable 3, and you always wanted to play Fable 1 but couldn't get around the shitty graphics, this is an excellent way around that. I would say 3 Guild Seals out of 5.
3 Guild Seals out of 5. Well, sir, I could agree with you completely. If you were like me, who has played the original, this is a fun throwback where you could be like, oh my god, and you get to see all the characters revamped, and maybe if you miss lost chapters because you didn't feel like buying the game again, you could finally get to play that little extra content. And if you were also in Nick's boat, and you never got a chance to play it, by all means. This is fun for, it may have the M rating on there, but honestly, if you're a teenager and all that, you'll be fine.
It's got a little blood, some alcohol, sexual references.
Yeah, you can actually have sex in the game too, but they don't show anything. It's just moaning. So if you get off on moaning, I guess you're fine. But anyways, it's a fun, mindless RPG. For $30 you can't go wrong because you get about 12 hours of gameplay there.
Oh, I put 16 into my first playthrough.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
So depending on what you do or how, or whether or not how much you know of it, because I was able to fly through the first, game. Without even.
Well, I was doing side missions too.
I was doing side missions too. I just done them so much. Like I said, I played the shit out of them. So I knew what to do. There's some missions where I just ran to the end because I just didn't care. But anyways, yes, it's a nice little time waster. Yeah, we have our problems with it. We've mentioned graphics, story, not the greatest
Again,
game.
it's a game from 2003.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, I'm going to also give it 3 Guild Seals out of 5. And also, just one last thing, it's one of the few games where you could decapitate someone and kick their head around. I mean, that's just fucking metal. So that is it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our review of Fable Anniversary. Let us know what you think in the comments
Not
section.
only decapitate using an arrow.
Oh yeah, an arrow.
I don't know if people know this. That's kind of impossible.
That is impossible. There's not even kind of there. It's physically impossible.
Well, I mean, if you get a big enough arrow.
Okay, a normal arrow? No, that's impossible. But anyways, that is it. Hope you liked it, people. Let us know what you think about Fable Anniversary. 3 out of 5 is what we gave it. Is it what you would give it? We don't know.